In your meeting with UNFPA, did this issue of Burundi radio station funding come up? It's a pretty big issue. They funded Nkurunziza's wife's radio station. Didn't you have it with Ms. Kanem of UNFPA? It was on your schedule. Did it not take place? Well, you get what you pay for. Now, if the question was on Rosewood, we had other questions. Cameroonians, I'm sorry to say, I knew she wouldn't ask it. This one was pretty simple. We did get an answer. She didn't have a meeting. There's only one problem. We have a picture of her schedule. Okay. Here's the schedule. We took a picture of it because they don't archive them, because they don't want to be transparent. But here it is. Well, we're going to call this one to a quit. That was it. That was it. Behind the blue rope. Okay, we're here. We've been waiting. Now they erected a blue rope. We are here to ask Amina J. Mohammaed, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, 3 questions, at least. These involve, most recently, her meeting with the head of UNFPA, which gave radio equipment to the radio station run by the wife of Pierre Nkurunziza of Burundi. Also, what was she doing in Abuja when 47 individuals were illegally abducted and refooled to Cameroon by her government, her president, Buhari? And further back, for her government, the signature of 4,000 certificates for endangered Nigerian and Cameroonian rosewood already in China. Now, presumably, she's going to be pressing the flesh and working the room. We'll see. We'll see. So let's see. How should we phrase these questions? We've waited. First, we had to get a minder to come here, and then the minder got a text message saying that they had to put up this rope. This while Moroccan state media, Reuters, France 24, walk up and down the hallway entirely unmolested. You see, they didn't have any questions. They actually went, well, we'll leave it at that. Hello. How should we phrase it? We should go Cameroon then. Rosewood, Cameroon, Burundi. We'll go in reverse chronological order. We'll start with Burundi because it's the most recent. She's got to come out. We've talked to some people going in there. In fact, we've had a number of conversations out here. We actually report on the UN. It's just that the UN seeks to hinder the reporting. Let me explain. I am required to have a minder and this blue rope. And other reporters can go through the turnstile, come and check things out, do whatever they want. So we're here. Here we are. This is the ghoulish double standard of the UN. Look at this. Seriously. There was no rope here at first, and then the minder got a text message at 5:09 saying, you've got to erect the wall. Like I'm going to run out there. People came to me. I spoke to 3 perm reps, 2 deputy perm reps, and some sources that I will not disclose, all of whom, without exception, had criticism of the UN, criticism of Amina Mohammaed, criticism of the process, criticism of the foreign minister of Uganda in one case, and I'm not saying who that was, for obvious reasons, because the foreign minister of Uganda, while president of the General Assembly, with an office right on this hall, accepted $500,000 in bribes from the China Energy Fund Committee. It seems that the president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, has almost fired him for using his name to take the money, but that's a very small bribe apparently in Uganda, and he's dodged the bullet. Okay, we're going to go Burundi, Cameroon, Rosewood. Rosewood, she knows is coming. Cameroon, she figures is coming. Burundi has to be coming because it's a pattern of sleaze. Now, is there some other way out? It's really a shame that it's come to this. But here we are, behind the blue rope. We're ready, in the penalty box, waiting for the least responsive. Honestly, people thought this administration of Guterres and Mohammed would be better. Please look and ask if there's been any questions to where the golden statue of Paul Biya went, to why are they supporting dictator radio stations, and why did they sign. Probably the most debilitating for them is the signing of the Rosewood certificates, because they pretend to care for the environment and they actually defrauded the system for endangered species. An absolute travesty. Still, we've got to bone up. It's not easy from behind the blue wall, but we will do it. We are waiting. Amina J. Mohammaed will exit, and we'll be here. We've already hitting the end of the battery life, but it's fine. Il n'y a pas de problème. Nous sommes ici. pour cela. Okay. Amina J. Mohammed, where are you? You gotta answer questions about Burundi and also the 47 people put in risk by Buhari. All right. No more singing. It's the blue rope. The blue rope has pushed me over the edge. Really, this thing, I carried it myself because the minder couldn't carry it. Can you believe it? What a fraud. What a fraudulent organization. I'm not saying that, I'm saying literally. Literally, an organization that's willing to engage in comical, circus-like restrictions to avoid questions to their vaunted leaders. That sounds like a country to the north of Seoul, doesn't it now? Okay, not really, of course. They do much more, but the UN is a hypocrite. And the media organizations that are complaining so much about journalism is not a crime walk right by censorship, bring about censorship themselves, bottoms up. They've hit bottom. Okay, Amina J. Mohammed. In the UN system, it's a whole different group of people that work on development. What about the... What's going to happen to them? What's the status of the CITES investigation? Okay, I think I've got my questions ready. Whether behind this blue rope I'm even able to ask a single one of them. Last time I was here with this rope and Amina J. Mohammed and Antonio Guterres came by, another correspondent who literally writes one story a year was free to move about the hallway and hand Guterres a piece of paper. Maybe threw it in the garbage can. But if I so much as stepped out from the blue penalty box of censorship... See, they've got... whatever. I hope she comes out before my battery dies. She's working it. This has been a full year, and there's not a single reform yet in place. Really. In fact, even when corruption... This is the ECOSOC chamber. The China Energy Fund Committee indicted Patrick Ho, the director, is the entity that paid the bribes to Guterres, and they're still in consultative status to ECOSOC. That's how much reform we've seen. All right. She'll come out. It's a big entourage. There's no missing it. And we'll ask the question. We will ask the question. Maybe she'll come that way. It's possible. It's possible. See? It's no problem. You got a pass, don't have a pass. No big deal. Only the investigative press must be restrained. War criminals, bribers, full access, full access. You never know who you'll see here. One never knows. Amina J. Mohammed, bring it, because this is your United Nations, the blue rope. So we wrote to the Department of Public Information in January and said, look, it's been a long time of penalty for having covered and exposed the last corruption scandal. It's time to end it. Copy sent to Amina Mohammed. Everything from here on out, it's on her. And Big Tony. Big Tony's hitting the road again, though. She's apparently running the show. Tony's on the road. Tony is back from the Olympics and about to head out to Kuwait and Munich. And we're guessing Lisbon. I think Amina J. Mohammed is headed to Belarus soon. That's what her schedule said. Belarus. All right, bring it. Bring it. You're meeting with UNFPA. Okay, let's see. Hopefully our battery's going to last for this scintillating stakeout. Amina J. Mohammed. Has she found another way out? 200 other journalists, many of whom rarely come into the UN, could, without a minder, come through the turnstile up there and go wherever they wanted. Inner City Press got a minder, who in turn said, we must erect a blue fence for you. Here it is. Shall we walk through it? Shall we use it as a slingshot? Bow. Bow. Laughable. Absolutely laughable. Okay. Wait a moment. I'm sure there's some last-minute lobbying going on in there. Got to reposition that development system. Exemplified by Siddharth Chatterjee, Ban Ki-moon's son-in-law, put it atop by ban the development system in Kenya, praising the government, even as it closes TV stations in violation of court order. That is the UN development system. And she's in charge of it. Amina J. Mohammed wants to be the head of the development system. She wants those resident coordinators reporting to her. So what does she say about Big Sid? Hasn't said nothing yet. Also met with the head of UNFPA. That's going to be our first question here. Days after UNFPA was exposed for supporting. Will I follow to the subway? If Amina J. Mohammed doesn't ride the subway, just so you know, Amina J. Mohammed has a UN paid, taxpayer paid, limousine, guards. So, this is it. This is our opportunity to ask the question about the hypocrisy of the Rosewood signatures. But to avoid the question, Amina J. Mohammed and her global communicator, Alison Smale, have required that inner-city press and inner-city press alone have a little blue rope. This wasn't here before, and it wasn't even here when the minder first brought it. Somebody texted the minder at 5:09 and said, "Where's the rope? Rope that guy in." And so here we are. Amina, it's definitely on Amina's schedule. We're going to show you her schedule. Why not? This is transparency, UN style. You see? Check it out. We're not kidding. This was the meeting, 3 p.m., ECOSOC informal interactive briefing on the repositioning of the UN development system. You see? On the. It's a very reformed organization. Extremely serious. All other appointments are internal. She also disclosed her meeting with UNFPA. Didn't disclose what she did in Abuja because what happens in Abuja stays in Abuja. The only thing that doesn't stay in Abuja is Ayuk Tabe and 46 colleagues sent back, refooled, in a violation of the law, to be incarcerated and quite possibly worse by Paul Biya of Cameroon. That's what the UN has come to. Complicit in torture. All right. I don't know. How many more people could be? How many angels can you hit on the fit on the head of a pin? We are waiting for Amina J. Mohammed. We are behind the blue rope. In the interim, we can report. We can and will report. Look, here are two correspondents walking freely down the end. One is a Bosnian correspondent, and one is a Kosovar correspondent. These guys are resident correspondents. They walk where they want. They didn't have to get a minder, and if they wanted to walk right in and talk to Amina J. Mohammed, they could. Because they don't. It's simply because they don't want to and won't that they're given free passage. Inner city press, which wants to speak, must be behind a blue rope. Not speak, ask. The UN should want to ask the question. She should want to say, I believe environmental. Hello. Okay. They're the ambassador of Colombia. Yes. Colombia. Supposedly the UN's largest success. They haven't had many. It's been a dry season. It's been a dry season for the UN. But Colombia is its big success. Now they're dreaming of success in Honduras. Yes, Honduras. They've been requested, they say, to mediate. But they didn't want to say anything about it. They didn't know anything about it. I think this is it. This is the big one. Okay, guys.
Do you want me to do something?
It might be good. It might be good. Okay, this is it. They have a security guard. It's true. We are here. Okay, all of this waiting, all of this. In your meeting with UNFPA, did this issue of Burundi radio station funding come up? It's a pretty big issue. They funded Nkurunziza's wife's radio station. Didn't you have with Ms. Kanem of UNFPA? It was on your schedule. Did it not take place? That's, well, you get what you pay for. Now, if the question was on Rosewood, we had other questions. Cameroonians, I'm sorry to say, I knew she wouldn't ask it. This one was pretty simple. We did get an answer. She didn't have a meeting. There's only one problem. We have a picture of her schedule. Okay,